Searching for Answers by Tristan Cameron. Act 1, Scene 1. Nighttime, black stage. From the wings, we see beams of light coming from several flashlights. We hear in the distance people calling out a name. It gets louder as the beams of light get brighter.
Adzilla!
Sam walks onto stage.
Adzilla!
They are yelling out the name Adzilla.
Adzilla!
Joe enters the stage looking tired and bored. Sam sees them and joins them on stage. They both shine their flashlights into each other's eyes.
Jeez, get that thing out of my face.
Sorry, my bad. You're late.
Glances at their watch.
By 8 minutes.
They share a brief and fleeting awkward moment.
I'm Sam.
Oh, you're the teacher that just moved home from BC, right?
Yeah, I got back 6 months ago. Not much has changed around here.
I'm Joe.
Well, Joe, better get a move on. We have wasted enough time as it is.
8 minutes.
I think we should start on the trails. She would have known to keep to them.
We wouldn't be here if she'd stuck to the trails.
They're easier to navigate, and we can cover more ground that way.
Paths are a waste of time. We're going into the forest. Plus, the paths are rampant with poison ivy.
It's already nighttime. No sense in getting lost ourselves. And if you pay attention, it won't bother you.
Lost? Yeah.
I don't have time to entertain any other possibility.
You may have to come to terms with a less positive outcome.
It's too soon for that.
Silence for a few moments while they continue to walk together.
Did you know her?
Yes, I do know her. Adzilla is currently my student.
Ah, all right then. Well, not me, just here to help navigate the woods. I've been out here plenty of times for brush control. These parts get pretty thick, but I know the Pictou County woods like the back of my hand.
We appreciate the help. Anything for Adzilla.
I've been on these types of searches before. No use getting your hopes up. It's been 48 hours, no sign of her.
I know, Joe. I've read the studies. But that's not going to stop me from trying to find her.
Joe doesn't want to push it any further. They move on from the topic and continue to shine their flashlights along the ground.
I was on a similar search like this one last year, working with a woman named Carol. Maybe you know her? She had strong ties to the community like myself, and she had me out here in these woods till dawn. No matter how much we searched, her optimism never wavered.
Was that Tanya?
Tanya Brooks, yeah. I still know exactly what she looks like because Carol had me burn her image into my head.
I remember her too. She was a mother of 5 and she had been living on the streets. I watched the interview with her mother. She had just called her mother the day before she died to wish her a happy Mother's Day.
Makes me sick.
Adzilla didn't show up to school 2 days ago, which is weird, as she enjoys school and is a straight A student. When I asked her friends if they had seen her, none of them did. We all assumed she had been sick and that she would be here tomorrow, but when she didn't show up yesterday, we knew something was wrong. If only I had noticed sooner and maybe wouldn't be in the situation of trying to find her.
Sorry I brought it up.
But that won't happen to her. I know Adzilla. She's smart. She would know what to do in a dangerous situation.
Sounds like you're putting a lot of faith in her. You remind me of your father. His name was Adam, right? How's he doing? Is retirement treating him well?
I think Dad would be willing to start a fire just to give him something to do.
Yes, that sounds like Adam. Man, never could keep still. Sure, I'll be the same way.
How long have you been volunteering at the fire department?
No, about 8 years. Doesn't seem like it, though. How long have you been at the Pictou Landing First Nations School?
This is my first year with a long-term contract. As is in my English class.
I see.
She was having some difficulties at home. Her parents are fishers and have been suffering from the targeted harassment from the DFO.
Well, I wouldn't call it harassment. Seems as though it's just a misunderstanding between the native folks and the higher-ups.
First of all, native is a completely outdated and derogatory term. Second of all, the DFO hasn't been upholding the constitutional rights of the Mi'kmaq people under the peace and friendship treaties. And lastly, the targeted harassment is coming from the people in the community who are ignorant to their own privilege.
Sam is implying that they are talking about Joe as being one of the people that is ignorant to their own privilege.
Hey, sorry. I can see that I hit a nerve.
Awkward silence. Sam tries to recover from their anger.
How about a new subject? I hear there was a wicked bonfire last weekend. Did you go? I couldn't make it, but it was absolute savagery.
Whoa, come on. Did we not just do this?
What? What did I say?
Jesus, we're out here looking for a missing Indigenous girl and you're throwing around language that is used to dehumanize her people.
Oh, come on. It's just a word. I'm also pretty sure you're not Indigenous.
It doesn't matter if I'm Indigenous or not. By using that word, you're strengthening a system that is putting down Indigenous people, and that is not okay.
Because they're the people being put down, not the hardworking citizens that have lost their jobs because of a bunch of hippies that couldn't wait until the mill got its waste sorted out.
That mill was illegally dumping waste, and pollution was running rampant. The backwoods bullshit that the mill was pulling destroyed the fishing industry, which directly impacted families like Adzilla's.
Well, I get that, but it also affected families like mine. My father worked at that mill his entire life, and my grandfather before him. When they shut down, we lost everything.
I get that also. However, these people have been systematically oppressed since the arrival of white colonizers. We're on a stolen land, and the fact that you don't recognize that, that's your privilege.
Joe processes this information.
I don't see how I have privilege. We work paycheck to paycheck. I'll be working till the day I die. How is that privilege?
You've been helping out with searches like this for what, almost 10 years now? Tell me the last time you were out here searching for a missing white kid.
Joe considers this. He realizes he can't recall if he's ever been part of a search party for a white child.
I guess I never thought about it.
Exactly.
Oh, try not to touch that. It's poison ivy.
Thanks for the warning.
They realize they have come to a crossroads. They're both trying to collect themselves and decide how to move forward.
What if I stick to the trails and you can go off into the forest like you wanted to? We can cover more ground separately.
Oh, bad idea. It's not safe alone, even on the path. Wild animals would be out now, and because the campsite's near here, no one bothers to pick up their garbage. The raccoons have grown pretty big and have plenty of ego. Also, it looks like your flashlight is running out of juice.
Joe takes Sam's flashlight, pulls some batteries out of his pocket, and replaces them, handing it back to Sam.
There.
Thanks.
Awkward silence.
Guess I have a hard time seeing other people's perspectives sometimes.
I get it. I'm pretty passionate about this stuff. I see the toll it takes on my partner. We work in the fishing industry as well. So I see firsthand how beaten down they are coming home empty-handed.
I get it. When my dad lost his job at the mill, it took a toll on him. He thought less of himself for not being able to provide for his family, but he wasn't one to feel sorry for himself, so he started self-medicating. His last paycheck went in a flash, along with any savings he did have. Now he comes to me for money, and I can't refuse him because he's my dad. It tears me apart thinking about how far he's fallen.
Hey man, if you ever need to talk to someone, I know that the L. Ammon family group specializes in families with alcohol problems.
Thanks. You seem like someone people would come to with their problems.
I used to think so. Edzilla would always come to me when she had problems or when she needed someone to talk to. I just feel like I didn't do enough to connect to her in the past couple of weeks. And maybe if I put in more effort when she told me about the DFO harassment and tried to comfort her, she would have told me, and she would have told me about whatever problem she's facing and wouldn't just have took off.
Sam, I get the feeling that you genuinely had a bond with this student, and something tells me that if Edzilla knew what was going to happen, you would have been the first person she would have come to if she'd known about her situation.
For what's worth. Thanks, Joe.
They continue walking in silence for a couple of beats. Then they hear a rustling and point their flashlights towards the audience.
Hey, what's that? It looks like a scrunchie.
Oh, okay, but so what? With a campground nearby, people lose plenty of stuff.
No, Joe, this is Edzilla's. She always wears a scrunchie to school. Maybe our luck is turning. Maybe we're close to her.
Sam takes off, starts to yell Edzilla's name with renewed vigor.
Edzilla! Edzilla!
Hey, slow down. The paths aren't maintained here. You might trip and fall, and then how are you going to look for her?
It doesn't matter. As long as I find her, everything will be all right.
Joe finally catches up and grabs her arm.
You know, for all that wisdom you carry, you sure are quite thick-headed. You could have gotten hurt, and then it would have been my fault.
Joe, let's go. We aren't here for your reputation. We're here for Edzilla.
Okay, I just can't afford to be reprimanded. I need this job.
Joe, if anything happens, I'll take full responsibility.
Thanks, Sam. Now, let's use that energy of yours to keep searching.
Bushes rustle off to the side, a figure in them.
Hey, that looks like a person. Is that...
Edzilla?
They run off stage into the audience, and the stage goes black. Curtain.